Hi, it's Dave T here, and today I'm doing a quick review of the Kampa Dometic AirBreak Pro 5. And it's worth pointing out this is the, I think, 2019 or 2020 version of this, and there is a newer one which is just branded as Dometic rather than Kampa, but basically the same product. Now, first of all, quick confession is that I did not actually purchase this product. However, unfortunately, Dometic also did not send me one free of charge. This is actually a friend's air brake which I'm actually testing. He's been kind enough to let me do a review of it while we're staying at the same site together. So when I first saw the air brake product in a caravan sales place some years ago, I was quite intrigued, but at the same time, to be honest, I wasn't particularly convinced that it was that useful idea. Now, don't get me wrong, if you are either someone who really values their privacy, or if you perhaps have young children or pets, dogs and so on, where you want to keep them confined within a specific area, then this is definitely a great product and of interest to people with those requirements. For ourselves, we're not particularly bothered about people being able to see us as we're sitting outside our caravan. We certainly don't have young children anymore, and we don't have pets, so there's not really a requirement. So for us, I wasn't convinced it was that great an idea. Our friends did purchase one and didn't actually use it for a year or so, partly due to COVID and partly because kind of it didn't get taken along or wasn't really suitable, which again kind of underlined that same point. However, they've also just purchased the sun-canopy, which I'll put a link up here. We've actually done a review of the sun-canopy from Dometic, and we have one of those ourselves. And actually, in conjunction with the sun-canopy, it does provide a great benefit, and I'll cover that off at a later stage in the actual review. In terms of the actual product though itself, when you purchase the product, it comes in a single bag. So you get the bag, obviously, it weighs in at 12.5 kilos and measures approximately 80 centimeters by 30 by 22. So not a large actual package to carry around with you. It comes with 16 pegs, a spare valve and spanner, and also some guy clips to help you clip it on and attach it to other awnings and so on. And of course the obligatory instruction booklet. When actually putting the air brake up, it's actually quite straightforward. First thing you must pay attention to is to close off the two deflation valves, which are the bottom end corners. So there's one at each end. Don't just close one and forget about the other end. So you need to close both of those off. In the middle panel, there is a central inflation point. Now that inflation point can be used with either the hand pump, which does not come with this, so you'll need to have a Kampa compatible hand pump, or alternatively it's compatible with the Kampa Gale electric pump, which I've reviewed, and again I'll put a link to the review that we've done recently on the electric pump. Pumping it up by hand doesn't take a huge amount of time, probably sort of 4 or 5 minutes at a guess. I'll time that in the video and put a caption up here in terms of the exact time. The instructions actually say to clip it to the awning. So if you're attaching it to another awning, then they say to clip it to that first and pump it up. As you can see, we actually pumped it flat on the ground and then lifted it into position. It does have a slight curve to it, but it's quite flexible, and therefore I don't see a major problem. If there's any wind or strong breeze though, I would recommend pegging it down at least in one point so it doesn't blow away whilst inflating it. Once inflated, it's pretty straightforward to lift into position, and this is where you definitely get a benefit over a normal poled windbreak, which we've had numerous ones of those in the past, and again, not particularly really used them because they are absolute pain to put up and not particularly versatile when they are up. They really only work in a straight line. However, with the air windbreak, because it has the crossbars, it's much more structurally sound, and it's actually easier to put up into various shapes, either a relatively straight line or a kind of gentle curve, as you can see here. So it does stay up on its own to a certain extent. However, obviously for safety and any wind, you do need to peg it down, and there are 8 pegging points at the base, 1 at each column and 2 at each end column. There are also 8 guy ropes, and again, there's 2 guy ropes at the end poles, and then the intermediate poles have guys which are on the outside face of the windbreak as it curves. It's worth noting that the guy ropes can actually detach. So if you find there's a guy that's either in the way or not really required, then rather than having it just dangling there, you can actually just detach that for neatness. Once inflated, each section can be isolated. So there's isolation valves which you can turn off. That really just means that if you do have a leak, it's not going to completely deflate. I can't see any other reason that you'd ever want to deflate one particular section on this. Sometimes on an awning that is the case, but not really, I would have thought, on the windbreak like this. So the top beams are sewn together in one continuous beam. The vertical poles are kind of mainly held by Velcro to those, so they can be kind of manoeuvred somewhat if you need to adjust them. The material, it's very similar, if not identical, to the material on the awnings, which is certainly a hardy material. We've had friends who've had Kampa awnings before. We've now got a new one and had the sun canopy. That does last well. You can get this in an all season, which is significantly more expensive. I'm not sure really of the sense of having an all season material on something that's probably not going to be used a huge amount, I would have said, but that's up to you guys in terms of if you want the all season version. So in conclusion, as I said, I wasn't really convinced about this product in the first place because it wasn't right for us. I can see it be right for some people. Now, having said that, and having seen it in use with the sun canopy, actually, I can see that not only does it work well with the sun canopy, but in many respects, if you purchasing a sun canopy like we did, we actually bought the side panels. Now, those are just basically panels which kind of go to this kind of level up here next to me, you can see, and they go across to the back with poles. Now, from memory, those panels, I think they're roughly about 200 quid for the side panels for the sun canopy. Now, the AirBreak is more expensive than that because it's close to 300 or so. So you're paying more money, however, it is far more versatile and effectively can perform the same task. So how we've got it set up here, it's set up going around, again, this is the 5-meter canopy, so larger than our canopy, and it's the full 5-panel AirBreak, and it's going all the way around from the front right column of the canopy all the way round to meeting the caravan at the back, albeit not with giving a huge amount of space out of the front. So in terms of providing wind protection, a little bit of lower level shade, not really full shade at all, it's pretty much doing the same task as the panels, the side panels of the canopy would do, but obviously it's covering a much wider area, albeit only one end, not both ends. And actually I would have said, because of the versatility, I would, if I had one, I would more likely use this AirBreak, whereas with the side panels, I honestly can say I've used them once, and that was only because I was doing a review video and I thought I should put them up. And since then, we've used the canopy several times, but never bothered with the side panels. So if you want either some wind protection for a sun canopy or a bit of privacy, then actually I see this being a much better option and much more versatile and at a bit more money, but not that much more money than you would pay for the side panels. So that's a definite win there. In terms of if you've got a full awning, they're certainly compatible with the other Kampa Dometic awnings, and I would say it's probably going to be able to be linked in some way, shape or form to any other awning, to be honest. Then if you want either that extra privacy or if you want to keep pets or young children confined, then I can see its use there, and it's certainly well built and it's far easier to put up than a traditional poled windbreak. If you've got a sun canopy or looking at buying a sun canopy and are thinking about the side panels, I would seriously consider actually buying this for a little bit extra money rather than the side panels that come with these, or you can buy for the sun canopy. Hope you found this review helpful or interesting, and if you have, then please do hit that like button, and if you're interested in seeing other videos that I make, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. But most of all, thanks for watching.